Okay, so artificial intelligence is pretty much everywhere now, right? It's changing how we learn, how we work, even how we think. But as we get used to all this convenience, I have to wonder, are we overlooking a hidden cost? Today, we're going to dig into some really fascinating research that asks a huge question about our growing relationship with AI. Let's get into it.
So let's start with something we all kind of know. These AI dialogue systems, they feel like a superpower, especially if you're a student or a researcher. I mean, they can summarize dense articles, help you brainstorm ideas, and spit out answers in seconds. It's like having the ultimate personal assistant on call, 24/7.
But that brings up the big question we're tackling today. With all of that incredible power right at our fingertips, is AI really the perfect study partner? Or is there a catch?
And look, you can't deny the benefits. The research totally backs up what a lot of us have been feeling. AI is an absolute game changer. It automates all those boring, tedious tasks. It helps us spot patterns in really complex data, and it's a lifesaver when you're just staring at a blank page with writer's block. It's just a massive boost to efficiency.
Okay, but this is where the story takes a turn. While we're all enjoying that efficiency, the research we're diving into today shows there's a pretty significant hidden cost, a major trade-off between all that convenience and our own brain power.
At the very heart of this problem is this one key idea: over-reliance. And this isn't just about using AI. It's about when we start accepting what it tells us without questioning it. That's where the real danger pops up, because that kind of blind trust can lead to some pretty serious mistakes.
And listen, this isn't just some hypothetical what-if scenario. The research shows that this habit of just taking the AI's word for it has a direct, measurable impact on 3 of our most important cognitive skills.
Wow, I mean, this slide just lays it all out so clearly, doesn't it? On one hand, we get quick answers, but the risk is we lose our critical thinking. We get these perfectly optimized suggestions, but we might be weakening our own ability to make decisions. The AI processes all this data for us, sure, but we could be accidentally outsourcing our own analytical reasoning.
And it's not just academics who are worried about this, students are feeling it too. A 2023 study found a really staggering number of them are concerned.
Yep, a full 75% of undergrads said they fear that relying too much on AI is going to weaken their own critical thinking skills. They see the convenience, absolutely, but they also sense the risk that comes with it.
So what's the deal? Why do we fall into this over-reliance trap so easily? Is it just that we're lazy? Or is there something about the tech itself that's kind of pushing us in that direction? Well, the research points to a much more complicated answer. Turns out it's not just on us. The technology itself has these built-in flaws. You could call them ghosts in the machine that actually encourage us to be over-reliant. One big systematic review identified 5 major ethical issues that are basically pushing us to trust the machine more than we probably should.
So let's break them down. The 5 big ones are AI hallucination, algorithmic bias, plagiarism risks, privacy concerns, and a lack of transparency. And what's wild is that each of these flaws makes it easier for us to trust the AI's output, even when we really shouldn't.
Okay, first up, AI hallucination. This one is wild. It's when an AI just makes stuff up. But it says it with such confidence, presenting false information as if it's a fact. The source material calls it confabulation, which is just a fancy way of saying it wraps lies in a package that looks totally legit. It's dangerously deceptive.
And here's a perfect example of what I mean. In one study, researchers got an AI to generate 178 sources for them. The problem? 28 of those sources were completely fabricated. They just didn't exist. The AI literally invented them out of thin air.
Next up, algorithmic bias. Now, since AI learns from the insane amounts of data we humans create, it also learns our biases. For instance, one study found that when an AI was asked to create an image of an African family, the result was lower quality and way less detailed compared to when it was just asked for a generic family. The biases baked into the training data showed up right there in the final picture.
The third issue is plagiarism, and this finding is genuinely shocking. You'd think our best plagiarism detectors could catch AI-generated text, wouldn't you? Well, it turns out popular tools are detecting,
Get this, less than 15% of plagiarism in essays that used AI for help. That means more than 85% of it is just slipping right through the cracks. That is a massive problem for academic integrity.
Number 4,
Privacy concerns. Ever stop to think about what happens to the prompts and personal info we type into these things? The research shows that data can be used for everything from improving the service to fraud prevention, and it can even be shared with third parties, often without you ever knowing about it.
And finally, lack of transparency. This is what people call the black box problem. We can see the input we give the AI, and we see the output it gives us back. But the process in the middle, how it actually decided on that answer, is a total mystery. It's completely opaque, and that makes it incredibly difficult to actually trust or verify what it's telling us.
So, when you put all of this together, what's the big takeaway? We have access to this unbelievably smart technology, but how is that really affecting us, the humans who are depending on it more and more every day?
Here's the bottom line. AI's convenience is incredibly powerful. No one's debating that. But its ethical flaws, the hallucinations, the bias, the lack of transparency, they create this environment that encourages a kind of cognitive laziness. They make it way too easy to just accept an answer without thinking. And that's a habit we have to actively fight against.
Which leaves us with one last and pretty provocative question to think about. As our technology gets smarter and smarter, are we, as people, choosing to become less so? The answer to that, well, that's ultimately up to each and every one of us. Thanks for joining this explainer.